Hey guys, welcome back to another vlog. My name is Chris and I think I need to do like a low effort craft this week because I feel under the weather. So I thought some painting therapy might help, and I have these terracotta pots that I've been both thrifting and purchasing. They're super inexpensive, so if you want to do this craft as well, it'll probably set you behind a couple of bucks if that. And then I also have a random assortment of just old acrylics that I'm just gonna pick from and paint. And I think I'm gonna stick to a similar color palette because I kind of want to make like a set of pots, and they also come with these little trays, which is cute. I did break this one though. Snapped it literally as soon as I got it. Tried to glue it back together, but we'll see. Anyways, that is what I'm gonna start off with today, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I was just gonna keep it simple, but the green that came out of the bottle was really bright, and I really wanted a darker sage, maybe emerald looking green, so I added some brown and mixed it up, and I thought this color looked really good. So as you can see, they're next to each other. The greens are definitely different, and the brown kind of toned it down a little bit because I was going for a certain color palette. Also, just a random little tip, since I've done this already, I would suggest priming if you can, maybe like with white or just like a lighter color, because the terracotta is kind of hard to cover up, to be honest. It took me quite a few passes and quite a few coats to get an even layer. Okay, this is after 2 coats, and as you can see, it came out really dark. Look at the color on the palette versus the color that dried. So I ended up adding even more green, and like you see that, I just wanted it to be a little bit brighter, so it just wasn't drying down how I wanted it to be. Honestly, maybe the original green would have been fine, but eventually I get the right color down. So this is just like the 3rd or maybe 4th coat that I ended up doing because I wanted to get the right color. If you haven't noticed already, each one has its own design, although I'm using the same colors. That way it'll feel more like a cohesive set, and I'm also painting the trays. As you can see, the wet color and the dried color are a lot more similar, so I was happy with that. Now, I grabbed my markers, my acrylic markers, because I was kind of sick of the paintbrush, and I only had a couple of them, so I would have to clean it off a lot in between colors. And the markers are just so much easier. Plus, they dry almost instantly, so for little details like this, that's the way to go for sure. Now, bear with me here because I am not like a painting type of crafty person. I just, I like to craft and I like to tinker around, but I am not an artist by any sense of the word. So I was kind of just working with some inspiration from Pinterest, but not really. I was just kind of just drawing, zoning out. I was, I think, watching a show at the time or a movie and just kind of painting and squiggling around things. So nothing ever really looked exactly how I wanted, but I think that's kind of the point of this type of art, so I just went with it. Okay, things are still drying, but I wanted to show you guys the progress so far. So this is pot number 1. So this one goes up halfway, and I did some shapes. Don't ask me what leaf that is. It's getting abstract over here. And yeah, so it just kind of has some wiggly shapes, and it goes up halfway. Pot number 2 goes up all the way except the rim. So as you can see, got some loose interpretations again of leaves, and then, some little dots, sparkles, whatever you want to call it. I don't like, though, that I decided to put the stem up the rim. At first I was like, oh yeah, that'll be cool, but I actually kind of like the completely naked look up here. So I'm going to try to color match some like terracotta paint and see if I can cover that up. And there's also a couple of places where I painted by accident that I didn't really want to. So if I can find a good color match, that'll come in handy. The last pot is kind of like the reverse of this one, as you can see. So it starts at the top, and then it kind of, has like a naked bottom, whatever you want to say. And once again, just don't ask what that is. And yeah, okay. And then like, I just need to finish a couple more coats on the inner rim, and no one's going to see it, but I am going to paint like, not this one, but the bottom of this one and the bottom of this one, because I just want like a clean look. And finally, the trays. So the trays, I've been vibing. So this one is completely green. I'm gonna paint that too. And I think that one will be for either this one that has a bottom. Yes. So this one will be for this one. And I'm going to paint on the center, maybe a little picture, maybe another leaf, something. Then this one is just green on the bottom. So again, the reverse. And that one will be for this one, as you can see. And again, nobody's going to see it, but I am going to paint a little something here. And I think it'll be okay because it's kind of recessed here, so I don't think it'll get scratched up or anything like that. And then the last tray is for this one. And this one's a little deeper and a little bigger, so it's got like a bigger tray. And this is what I'm working with on the inside. I'm trying to do squiggles, but it's looking more like scallops. So I'm going to have to like maybe edit that a little bit. But then as you can see, I did get a little bit of overpaint. So again, if I can color match, that will come in handy. So that is just a little update so far, and I will finish it once everything is a little bit more dry. The paint is still a little sticky and it's getting on my hands, so I need to let it dry, but I just want to give you guys a little update. So obviously the video is sped up right now, but in the moment I was really just trying to focus on getting paint on the pot without overthinking it, because I knew I wasn't going to get it perfect. Honestly, clearly my painting skills just aren't there. So I just wanted to let go of that and just have fun with it. I was picking colors fast, making quick brush strokes, and just trying not to stop every 2 seconds to feel like I had to fix too many things. I did tweak a couple things, but not too much. All right, so I am finished. I ended up changing a few designs last minute, and then I got a little lazy and just kind of quit, but I did gloss it over and protect it with this. It's all I had on hand. I didn't really need the UV resistant part, but I did need something that would just protect the paint from chipping or washing off. So I used this, and it also says it's moisture resistant, so whatever. I used that, and I just sprayed everything down. So the first set is the one where it's, you know, the top half is colored, and then there's terracotta. So I paired it with this, which I ended up painting. Looks like that. So that's number one. That one came out pretty okay. Number two is the one where the top half of the terracotta is terracotta and then the bottom is painted. So I paired it with the same vibe with the saucer. So the top half of the saucer is not painted, but the bottom is. And I thought that was kind of cute. And I definitely said that I did not want to leave the stem, but I completely forgot to cover it. So I'm just going to leave it alone. So that's what this one looks like. Cool. And then the last one is the larger set, which looks like this. And I did not find a color match to the terracotta paint, so I just went with it and kind of did like an organic half and half in order to cover it, because as you can see, they are definitely 2 different colors. This is the paint. Anyway, this is the last one. Nothing too crazy. And then I really tried my hardest with the saucer to get like an organic squiggly shape with the green, but I could not make it work. So I just ended up, it just kept looking like scallops. So I just ended up just painting it all solid green. And then there was a couple of mistakes in the center here. So I just kind of went a little crazy and just kept adding more and more color. But I actually kind of like the way this one turned out. And as you can see, it kind of mirrors the pot. So like with the terracotta, the paint, the green, and then it just, you know, I don't know. I feel like it balances itself out. So there's that. Anyway, that is it for this vlogs craft. I thought it was just good to do a little painting. Like I said, I just needed something low effort and not too crazy, because it's been a rough one, guys. It's been a rough one. So I am happy with how they turned out, and I will definitely be using these. I'm thinking of using these as cover pots though, so I'm going to try to find a nursery pot that will fit inside, because I don't want to pot anything directly in it. I just don't want to. So these will probably just be like decorative pots, and then it'll also make it easier for me to switch them out, because if I have the plant directly potted in here, it makes it so that you have to do a lot more fussing around to just change up the look of things. So these will definitely probably be decorative pots. So for example, I could take this plant, which is just in like this plastic faux terracotta situation, and they both have drainage holes, so I'm not worried about it, but I could just use this like that, drop her in, and, you know, change up the look. I think it's cute. Like I said, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know if you will be painting any pots soon. Like I said, it's a super inexpensive craft, and I did not buy a single thing. I already had everything on hand, except of course the pots, but I thrifted most of those, so I feel like that's not that bad. And I had the paint, I had the UV clear stuff, and I also had the paint markers on hand already, so not too bad. Speaking of thrifting, I forgot to introduce the next segment, so enjoy that. I did a little thrifting, and you'll see that coming up next. Something felt off as soon as I drove up because nobody was in that parking lot, and this one's always packed. But then I zoomed in, and if you want to pause, you can, but basically they had electrical issues, so nobody was getting in there. Big bummer, because I really love that Savers. But I ended up finding another one a little bit farther away. Never been to this one. It was massive. Anyways, first thing I saw was this 6-ounce Ben Franklin aftershave from Avon. I think it was empty, but you know, history nerds pop off. This one's for you. And then I found this peachy pink cup right next to it with like etchings on the side. I have no idea why I grabbed it, but it was cute. Sometimes the thrift store just tells you what you're in there for. And this was also kind of the same vibe, so I grabbed it as well. This pottery was gorgeous, by the way. Next, I found what I thought was a cactus pincushion. It looked like something from the Target dollar spot. Cute, but I left it because it kind of gave me like a sensory issue. It felt like, I don't know, like felt? I don't know. Bad. Also, look at this absolutely darling stained glass birdhouse or bird feeder. I don't know. It was cracked or else I would have snatched it up, but I left it for somebody who knows what they're doing because I don't know how to fix glass. This trinket tray was literally waiting for me. I swear. It was perfect. So cute. Picked it up. And then I almost picked up this super heavy, very sturdy glass ashtray because I thought I could use it for a drip tray under a plant pot, but I left it behind. Look at this cutie. Also, I think somebody definitely donated their entire ceramic bell collection, which always makes me kind of sad when an entire collection is donated. I don't know why. Okay, queen, I see you. I don't know what that is, but all right then. Then look at this little bird. I feel like he was definitely hand painted. Somebody come get him. He's really cute, but definitely not for me. And these two belong together, so you got to keep them together, right? Like, do you guys do this too? If you see two things kind of far away, you put them together? I don't know. Also, this looked like a giant bean. I feel like somebody can make it into a green bean. Almost grabbed this, but it was super flimsy. But I did grab this one because it's a wall planter, and although my shelves are full, the ceiling and the walls are fair game right now. So anytime I see one, I consider it. And this one can always be spray painted. So I don't know if I'm going to keep it that color. This was actually kind of cool, like a very geometric vase. And I love this little duck planter. It's not really like my vibe right now or my style, but he was cute. It was like a boot or something. There was also this really textured vase planter thing here. There it is. But $7.49, please. I did like it though. I am always looking for like interesting textures. These little twins, adorable, very cutesy, love it. And then this wall planter, again, considered it, literally walked it over to the cart. But then when I was looking on the inside, I couldn't really picture a plant in it. It was kind of narrow in there. So any pots that I would put in there, I'm not sure if it would fit. I don't know. I left it. It was also a little bit overpriced, if I'm being honest. There was a set, like multiples of these little candles that look hand painted, like cookies on the side and birthday cakes and whatever, but there was nary a scent to be found on any of these. So I did leave them because, yeah, I couldn't smell a single thing. They look new though, so that was interesting. I regret leaving these two guys behind. They were hanging on for dear life, and honestly, same. And then this rocking chair, what is that for? A candle? I can't imagine wanting a candle flame to rock back and forth, so that was confusing to me. But this I did grab. It was about $6, I believe, and it is perfect. I don't know what it actually is for, but it is perfect for these little plant pots. Wait till you see the vision. Just hang in there with me. I'll show you in the end. Almost grabbed this because I have something similar already, but the style wasn't quite what I was going for. This is something I put back on the shelf for some reason, even though I'm literally collecting these for plants. Don't know why I left it. Also, are there any The Office fans out there? I am absolutely obsessed with the show, but I don't need another mug or cup from them. I have so many, but yeah. Anyone else out there obsessed like me? I should have grabbed her. Why did I leave her behind? She's so cute. Look at the wreath. Look at the wreath. Oh my gosh, why is he so sad? Someone come get him. He's so sad. Ma'am, are you okay? I hate stuff like that. That big spider, absolutely not. This was kind of cool. I feel like it was either like to hold candy or a candle. Don't know which one. This looked hand painted and I almost grabbed it. I should have. Honestly, it looked like somebody used it for plants before because there was some dirt at the bottom. And that little boo sign, why did I leave that? Oh my gosh, I didn't even pick it up. I regret it. That one was really cute. Don't know what's going on here and I don't love it, but Okay. That little basket was cute too. This fish, I should have grabbed. Why? I don't know. Do I like fish? Not really, but he was cool looking. I should have grabbed it. Every now and then I find exactly what I have saved in my saved for later, like online, on the thrift store shelves when I walk in. And this was one of them. I have a incense holder in my cart right now. And I'm so glad I didn't buy it because this one was even better than the one I was going to buy. It's made of wood. It said it's from like the Salem Witch Museum, something like that. It also has a little incense holder on the side, like a little trap door, but you gotta check for spiders. Always check for spiders. Anyways, it also had this inlay, like this metal inlay, so it was very celestial, which was cool. It got the sun, the stars, the moon. I liked it, so I snagged it up. This little guy looks suspiciously like that other weird thing with the green felt bottom. Where is this from? It looks very familiar, but I don't know where it's from. I didn't find anything in glass today, but I did find this. Not glass, but interesting. So, okay, immediately to me, it looked like a monstera leaf. Yes, I think we can agree this is probably a big monstera leaf. However, the more I stared at it, the more it just kind of looked like unrecognizable blobs and holes cut out of wood. So I left it, but I should have probably grabbed it. I feel like I could have painted it. Also, how freaking cute are these little pineapple ladies? Very adorable. This belongs in a dentist's office. Tell me I'm wrong. These little trucks gave off the same vibe as the pineapples. I like that as well. This scene, I want to live in it. Look at her little spread. The greca to make coffee. Best way to make coffee, by the way. If you know, you know. Her little computer, her coffee in hand. She's chilling. Moving on to the books, I found Midnight Sun. I'm collecting all the hardcover Twilight books, and I actually forgot that this one was a book, to be honest, since it's not a movie, but it is one of the last ones I needed, so perfect. Okay, on to the real reason I walked into the thrift store today. The lamps. Can't forget about the lampshade. I found one, and it's a little dirty, but I cleaned it up, I think, as best as I could. I'll show you guys in a moment, but I need this for a terrarium, and I was debating between the white one and the black one, but ultimately I grabbed this one because of the shape. I wanted it to just be super simple. You guys, I'm gonna call this one a success. I went in originally, if you remember, for a lampshade, and guess what? I found a lampshade! Yes! The perfect lampshade, by the way, because it is, like I said, very simple. You know, just a very simple shape and nothing going on with the texture or the color too much. And I did manage to clean it up as best as I could. This is where the original kind of little dusty, dirty spot was. And I think I did a pretty good job. Like, you can barely tell it's there. And once again, this will be perfect for that terrarium lamp because the bottom is clear. So the focus will be on the plants. And then this will just complement it, but not distract. Anyways, so freaking satisfying when you go in for what you want and then you find what you want on the first try. If you thrift, I feel like you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, that was accomplished. And then I found this incense holder, which again, I have in my cart right now. So I'm so glad I didn't end up buying it because this one is so much better and it fits the vibe. It has this little incense holder, storage, whatever. No spiders, so that's a plus. It has a couple bonus incense. Right next to that Savers, there was also a Five Below, so I picked up this packet of incense. It actually has a little holder down here too. See, look at the vibe, the celestial. But this is like real metal or something in there, whereas this is just painted on, so very cute. Anyway, it smells so good. I can't wait to start burning some of these. Also, this little crystal dish, this little trinket tray. I mean, come on, you guys. So cute. Also found Midnight Sun. As I mentioned, I'm collecting the hardcover Twilight books, and now I have every single one except for this intermediate story called The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner. Did not even know that existed. But aside from this little one, I think it's like a half story or something. I have all the books. So now I feel like I can get started. I have this thing where if I know it's a series, I need to have access to the entire series because if I start and then I don't have the next book, it'll drive me crazy. It'll drive me crazy. Also, I am a hardcover girly. I love a hardcover book. I need like something sturdy. I'll read obviously a soft cover. Like I'm not like some weird book snob, but I prefer hardcovers. So also this is like quite literally brand new. Like the spine's not even cracked. Do you see that? What a score. Oh, I got the little cups, which again, I got purely based on the vibes. I can't remember the creator's name, but she thrifted something very similar to this, and it had 2 handles, and she put it under her candle warmer. She added, I want to say, a cinnamon stick, hot water, and some coffee beans. And then, yeah, she just heated it up, and it was just wafting amazing scents throughout her living room, kitchen. I don't know. I'm going to try to do the same thing. First, I have to check if it's like heatable. Basically, if it can withstand heat, although those candle warmers don't get very hot. I think I'll do the same. I'll probably add coffee beans, maybe some orange peels, some cinnamon sticks or cloves or whatever. And I just think it's going to make for a really cute little fall scented situation. This plant pot, nothing too crazy. It's a plant pot. Like I said, I am trying to maximize my space and I want to live in a jungle. So that is what I'm going to do. And my walls are free. So this planter will be perfect. Just got to clean it up a little bit. My space right now is a freaking mess. You guys aren't seeing all of it because of the way I have the camera right now, but I can't even find what I thrifted. Found it. Okay, the last thing is this candle holder. That's what it says it is. That's what Savers thinks it is. I don't know what it is. What do you guys think? Either way, I'm going to be using it for plants, because duh. So I have 2 options for these plant pots that I own. So the first option is with this little flower tray. Do you see the vision? It's also going to be really good for succulents or plants that need a little bit more light, because since it'll be sitting on the shelf like this, it'll give it some height. So it'll be closer to the light, which they need. Anyways, first option is with the tray. So it floats and has a little space. Alternatively, I can take off the tray. So no tray, and just have it sink in to the bottom like this and kind of float still, but you know, just a little deeper. So what do you guys think? I think I'm leaning towards this look without the tray, but I don't know. Like if I can figure out, maybe I should just leave it. But if I can figure out what the purpose of this little emptiness would be, maybe I would do this. However, I really think this looks a lot better. You guys will have to let me know. Comment below option A for the tray or option B without the tray. Like I said, I'm leaning towards without the tray, but let me know. So yeah, that's it. I would call this week's thrifting a success. Okay. So on the end of the last vlog, I mentioned that I had 2 options for reading on this vlog. So one was rereading the Legendborn series. I have the first and the second one, which I have read. And then I have the third one sitting on my shelf, which I haven't read. But in order to get back into that one, or like to start that one, I need to reread the first one and the second one, of course, because it's kind of a magical fantasy book. And if you know, you know, because they have a lot of like magical terms and names and just specific details that I honestly can't remember. So option 1 would be rereading this series. So starting from 1. Or option 2 would be a book of the month box that I actually haven't opened. I believe this one is technically from September's picks, or it might have been one that I just picked off of the app. I don't remember, but I could also read this. So I'm first gonna open it right now because I don't know what the book is. Okay, so the option is The Heartbreak Hotel. And here's a little bookmark. Plotting my next escape. Love that. So let's see. This one says a bed and breakfast for the brokenhearted might hold the key to another chance at love in this achingly hopeful debut romance. So a romance book. I don't know if it's romantic comedy, but it's definitely a romance book. And honestly, just the way that I'm feeling right now, I think I'm going to go ahead and read the romance book and leave this series for another time, simply because this book alone is about 400 pages, I want to say, almost 500, and there would be 3 that I would have to read, not necessarily all in one go, but 3 in order to catch up. This is like short and sweet, 330 pages or something like that, and I think I could read this in like honestly a day if I have some time. So I think I'll go ahead and just read this because I don't think I have like the mental capacity to start a 400 page each series book, if that makes sense. So yes, I will start on the Heartbreak Hotel and let you guys know my final thoughts. All right, so I am all done with the Heartbreak Hotel. It's interesting. It's not what I expected. Like I said in my last vlog, I'm more of a romantic comedy type of person when it comes to romance or even romantasy. But this one, it was more like, I don't know. So it's basically about a girl who runs a hotel, self-explanatory by the name, and it's where people go when they've had their heart broken. So they're learning to heal. She's kind of like a therapist, so she helps them through it, and everyone who goes there and stays at the hotel has their own story, including her, because she's also going through a very recent heartbreak and breakup, which is what inspires the hotel. So it was interesting. It's definitely, like I said, about healing, finding yourself, and just kind of moving on. And it was a lot more, I would say, bittersweet than I thought it would be. So again, not what I expected, but it didn't claim to be a romantic comedy. So it wasn't very fluffy or lighthearted necessarily. There is like grief and things like that, and like some heavier terms. So if you're into that, I would suggest it. I did end up liking it, like despite how I'm probably coming off. It just wasn't what I expected when I picked it up. But anyway, yeah, that one is all done. I don't know what I'm reading next. Honestly, I could pick up Legendborn series, but since it's kind of fall and I keep seeing a lot of memes, I'm thinking Twilight, because I know it's basic, but the weather is wet and kind of cold outside right now, and it's just reminding me of Twilight. I don't know, I might binge that, so we'll see. Anyways, that is it for today's vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed the reading, crafting, and thrifting. And if you did, definitely give it a like and a sub. And let me know if you guys have any more recommendations for books that I could read or crafts that I can make. I am always looking for recommendations. Leave all your comments below and I will definitely respond. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.